Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 6 of the Hunt and Harvest podcast. This is my second guest on the show, Cru Mahoney.
Second?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Sorry, bro.
I can't believe it. What's
You're
up,
late
guys?
to the game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm new to this whole content thing, bro.
Yeah, I'm the new one. This is the guy who actually got me into content, and I'm really grateful for it because otherwise I would be doing something that I hate. I mean, I guess in a way I'm still doing something that I hate.
We all have. There has to be something you hate, you know?
Yeah, there's always something.
Remember the combo before I left out on the side yard, talking about trucking.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't even. When was that?
That was last Christmas, not the most recent one. That was 2024's Christmas.
Oh crap!
Under the cedar tree at my farm by
Yeah.
my cabin, we had just completed this guy's morning run and ice bath routine, which I have adopted for a majority of my days, and I kind of can't go back, even though I wish I could.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, any of you who have watched my stuff, I've probably told you about how there were other things in my life that I thought I was going to be doing, and I never thought I'd be creating content. And
Because what was your plan, though?
my plan was I was gonna farm, but I wasn't planning on doing any content related stuff. I was just gonna do the peach farm and start trucking, like buy
Yeah.
$60,000 worth of equipment and go into a little bit of debt and like, oh, I can make more money this way, and I'll just figure everything out. I'll optimize my time. I was literally delusionally thinking that I could wake up at 4 a.m., do trucking 4 or 5 days a week, and farm,
Yeah.
and have a life, and hit the gym, and get good sleep, and hit the routine.
Yeah.
It's
I think I remember the wording of the advice. I said you could either spend the next 5 years farming and trying to make all of that work and it be a pain in the ass, or you could spend the next 5 years having that same pain in the ass but documenting it, and one is probably going to be worth worlds more than the other one.
And literally, I think I posted my first long form YouTube video 2 months later, or a month and a half later,
See, that's
and it was vertical.
that's right.
I did it with my iPhone vertical, not knowing that I was supposed to film it. I was like, oh, can't you just turn it? No.
That's so funny.
No, you cannot. And it actually wasn't a terrible video.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's the key to any form of success, is just starting on the thing. Because, I don't know, I feel like you can watch somebody and say, oh, I know that I want my stuff to look like this, or I want to have a lifestyle like this. But you can't just step into those shoes without becoming that. So, you can watch Joe Rogan all the time, and then you still go, oh, shoot, I have to do 1,100 episodes of a podcast, or how many episodes did that dude film?
I don't know.
Thousands? 3,000
He's in
probably?
the thousands.
Yeah.
He's probably on coming up on 3,000.
Because, there's this timeline of expectation where if you work on something for a year, it's supposed to work out. But, I don't know, you go back 50 years and people were working on something for 26 years and then it worked out.
Right.
But it's hard to grasp that because you still feel the pain of every single day of working on the thing. And so, you're just doing the inputs and you get no reward. And that's always my thing of any meaningful journey, you don't really get the reward every time you do the input. It's just, all right, more rewardless work, and then, a year later you go, oh, I guess it's a little bit better, and then 5-10 years later you go, oh shit, now I have 1 million on YouTube and can just hang out.
Is that what it is when you get 1 million? It's just hanging out?
Yeah.
No,
I think so.
Maybe it is. It's crazy you mentioned the rewardless work, because, and the people back in the day, the rewardless work must have been so large because you didn't even know probably in a lot of time periods that you were even going to live long enough to experience the reward.
Yeah.
You were doing it just in hopes that your family, the next generation would
Yeah.
experience the reward.
Yeah, well, there's a weird kind of survival now, which is you don't really have to do anything to stay alive necessarily. I mean, you could kind of treat yourself like shit and still live to, I don't know, probably 70, 80 in a lot of cases, but then you have most people that feel like they're dying because they have no emotional grasp on their life on Earth, in a sense. So, yeah, everything is as easy as possible, but I feel like I have no purpose or no reason to wake up in the morning, and I feel like I'm dying, and I get panic attacks and anxiety, and I'm depressed, but the fridge is full of food. The AC is on, or the heat.
The roof is sealed.
Yeah, I mean, everything is perfect.
Yeah.
It's weird because humans kind of overcame the survival
Yeah.
for the most part.
I mean, yeah, at least in the first world, for sure.
Yeah, and then now we have a completely different hurdle of survival, which is the emotional survival, which is how do I do something that makes me feel like I'm actually doing something, because kind of being happy and fulfilled is a part of survival, at least in this container. And so, I mean, picking up the camera and whatnot, it's uncomfortable, and
Very.
I mean, if there were some friggin' people behind us, it would feel super weird and embarrassing, and you don't want to be the person on their phone making a video about whatever the heck and taking photos of everything because people think it's annoying. But it's honestly either that, or when you're working on something you care about, or you're just working for someone else's thing, and you could do that for 50 years, and then you look back and go, oh shit,
It's gone.
oh my god. I mean, I couldn't imagine that version of the story. I'd rather just be documenting what I'm doing and working on speaking clearly and concisely and inspiring people to do something. But that's just scary.
You helped me acquire more purpose than I thought I had a purpose already before we had that conversation by the cedar tree.
Yeah.
And you need a purpose. And the thing was, my dream and my purpose was too small, and giving the content aspect to it, it has made it so much bigger, and it made me realize that my dreams were too small, and that there is no reason to have small dreams. You need unreasonable goals.
Yeah.
And so that way, the more I work towards them, even if I get close, I've already achieved astonishing things that I never thought possible.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm always going to another level because of that, and I love that it's becoming more normal, even though that I hated being on camera. I hated having my picture taken.
Yeah.
I never could talk clearly. I still can't.
I don't know. I think it's just fine.
It's doing better, but it's all practice. I never thought I'd be this guy, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity in this age to have an opportunity to share it with people, and somebody derive some sort of value from it.
Yeah.
Yours is a lot more straightforward with your coaching and your mindset coaching and all that stuff. It's so much more straightforward than, I guess, the value that I'm hoping to provide. But I also like documenting my journey to where I'm going, because not only will I have that beautiful memory for my family, but
Yeah.
I mean, this gives me more purpose, and I'm so grateful.
I mean, is it even more straightforward, though? Because I think what you're doing, there's a tangible goal, which is to provide food, you know what I mean, and build a business based on that, and people can grasp it. And that's something that I've been struggling to work through myself, is that to do well in business, whatever that's worth, you kind of have to funnel everything into, oh, here's what I help people with. And it's supposed to be very simple, but I've also recognized that, based on this concept of emotional survival and having a purpose and documenting your life and all these things, it's not really that simple. And I feel like the modern human mind or struggle is super complex. And that's what I help people with. And so then I'm going, oh, what do I call myself? What is the one thing that I help people do? And they're just isn't one thing. And so in the business world, I get all this advice. Oh, you got to niche down. It has to be a very clear thing, a very clear pain that you're helping people overcome. And I'm going, well, if it was a clear pain, a clear solution, the problem wouldn't be there. The problem is very complex, and so is the solution.
Yeah.
And lately, you know, when I've been talking to people about potentially working together, I'll ask them to basically explain what the heck is going on. I'll say, look, as difficult as it's going to be for you to explain what's going on with you, that's how difficult it's going to be for me to explain the solution to that. So we're going to have to kind of trust each other within this, because it's not just I'm a fitness coach.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm this.
It's not that
I'm
simple.
It's never that simple, and it's frustrating because, you know, I don't want to funnel down that way because it kind of cheapens what I'm trying to accomplish. But, yeah, I mean, I think the purpose element is huge, just because, I mean, if you don't know why you're doing something, you're either going to not do the thing or not be happy doing the thing.
Right.
You know, and it's just...
They always talk about that power of the why. You know, you have to have your reason. And before, it was so... I don't mean to keep bringing it back to, like, people back then, but they had the why was survival, and now the why needs to be something you create for yourself. And
that's a pain.
And that only comes from silence. That only comes from spending time alone. That only comes from deep thought. You cannot scroll your way away at work and come up with your purpose and plan for life. Like, you're just gonna which get rid of life that way and not actually figure out what you want to do with your life. Like, just driving with no music, no nothing going on is actually some of the best ideas and best thoughts I've had. I mean, it's not the only place you can get them. It's a great example. How many people are driving and listening to a bunch of crazy music? Yeah. Probably scrolling and driving, watching YouTube. Sick. You know? Or just, I don't know, they're just not thinking. You need that. You need 30 plus minutes a day, an hour, more, as much as you can fit into the day of thinking about what you want, what you need to do, who you want to be for the people that you care about. And if you don't have anybody you care about, there's something else wrong with you, I guess. Yeah. You can always look to be better.
Well, it seems like people are almost doing the purpose seeking in the scrolling or just in the distraction, because it's kind of just if you just keep consuming self-improvement content,
you'll come up with something.
This is working. Yeah, but it's just kind of this mental masturbation almost.
That's a good term.
You know, making yourself think that you're actually doing something. But, I mean, it's almost because, you know, discipline and consistency and success, it's kind of glamorized in a weird way to where people see a video of someone talking about it, and that in itself is a dopamine hit. But the actual doing of that, I mean, any kind of hard work or being disciplined or succeeding, it usually feels really bad. And so people get a perverted view of what discipline looks like. Yeah. But it's inherently doing what you don't want to do to feed into something amazing, which there is eventually gratification within that. But it's never a finish line, like you're saying. I mean, having big goals, I feel like I almost don't even have goals, at least in the sense of them being a tip of the spear, kind of peak of the mountain sort of thing, because I like this saying, the worst thing you could do to a man is give him everything he wants.
I like that. I heard you say that the other day.
Yeah, and I mean, it's true, because as soon as you reach the peak of the mountain, you immediately start looking for something else that's wrong. I mean, we were talking about the injury shit. When my knee stopped hurting after 5 years of just obsessing over it, and it was the center of my universe, I would have a day where it just feels fine. I go, oh, well, what now? You know, I'm just supposed to work out? And then I'd work out to the point where my knee hurts again, so that, you know, I'm almost trying to restore my purpose. I see this all the time. I work with people, and they'll lose weight, and then they feel like there's nothing left to do after losing weight. and then they'll gain it back so that they can restore the purpose of losing that 10 pounds or whatever it is.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean? And this is why I can't be a freaking fitness coach, because I'm going, that's not a macros and freaking workout plan thing. That is a literal fundamental purpose thing where somebody's going, oh my gosh, I feel alive by striving to lose
That's
this
in here.
weight. That's 100% there. And yeah, I mean, there has to be something that fuels the, I don't know, waking up in the morning. People always go, oh, how do you wake up early? I go, I just have a reason to.
It's so crazy to think how important it is to have that reason. And I'm not even, with the ice bath run thing, it's so, I know we don't need to spend a ton of time on that, but like that morning routine is just weird.
Yeah,
you know?
it's surreal.
It's so surreal after you complete it. I've never regretted it once. And I haven't done a streak of 3,000 days like you have, but I do it so much that it shocks me every time that, like, well, I did do it. And
yeah, it's hard to believe.
It is so hard to believe that I even did it, and I'm like, well, my reason for doing it is just keeping up with what I believe. Like, it's not even, I don't even have this big reason for why I still do that routine. You know, I have a big reason for so many things that I do.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the goals in mind, like you say, you don't really have, like, big tip of the spear goals, but I think I do, in the sense of, it's not like tip of the spear, but it's a big goal, and I'm working towards it. And it's a benchmark.
Yeah.
It's not really a tip of the spear at all. It's just like, okay, wow, I have fruit. I have grown fruit. I am now selling fruit. You know, I am doing YouTube. You know, I have a podcast. It's working. Or now I have a physical storefront, like an actual, I own this land. I own this building. I'm selling people food and produce that I grew, and other stuff as well that is actually not crap. And and then, you know, I know that if I can get one of those, then I'll be able to move on to the next thing, and I'm not going to be, but I know that I'll never achieve all of the things that I want to do, and that's kind of comforting, because there's always more that I want to do.
It keeps moving.
It's great. I wouldn't have it any other way, because otherwise I would just feel empty, I think.
Yeah, I call it the post-gold medal syndrome. Because when you win the Olympics, what do you do on the flight home?
You have to win it. Yeah, on the flight home is tough. Once you start training to win again, that's probably when it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone's afraid to not reach their goals, but I feel like everyone is more afraid to reach their goals, because then what?
Right.
And I mean, it's so funny how painful it is on the way to reaching the peak of the mountain, and then as soon as you get there, it's just, what now?
That's why you have to be that person who, and there's some actual quote, but it's like the man who finds himself on the journey, or enjoys the journey more than the destination. Yeah. That type of thing. It's so real. I know it's cliche, or, you know, everyone says it, or maybe everyone doesn't say it, and I'm just in the funnel.
Yeah, fair.
But I mean, it is true. I think it's just, the journey is the best part, and I wish. That's why I'm striving for self-employment, and for some of my goals to work out, because I want to be present for the journey, and I feel like splitting myself between day job and entrepreneurial goals and agricultural goals, it's just, it's not that it's impossible, or, you know, of course it's difficult, it's just not optimal.
I mean, it's emotionally taxing more than anything, because, I mean, I keep poking fun at the idea of, you know, why would you let another man control your life?
You, a man, letting another man dictate your life.
And I mean, it's
not.
It's funny, but it's also just, that feeling is actually there when you really look at it. I mean, especially as the kind of person that wants to do your own thing, and I don't know, maybe some people are just not wired in that way, but I feel like
I genuinely believe they're not. I know that a lot of people, I think, what was the stat, like 7, I didn't mean to interrupt you, sorry,
no.
but like 70, isn't there like a I think I heard this off Dave Ramsey or something, but like 70% of Americans want to be self-employed. Only 3% are. I don't quote me on those numbers, but
Yeah.
it's like a lot of people want to be there,
Yeah.
and then there's people who want to be there but would prefer not to do anything to change that. They're more comfortable being able to go home and click it off. I'm done.
Yeah.
I did his thing for him all day,
Yeah.
and now it's me. You know, I'm good with that.
And then me is TV.
I'm not saying they're making the best choices. I'm just saying that I'm sure there's some out there that are, but most of them are wasting that me away. And
Dude, that feels...
That sucks.
That feels dystopian to me.
is that like okay, you think, for them? Like, should we want everyone to think? You don't want everyone to think the way you do, because then
Yeah, but also, I mean, we have the container of how the world works now, and it's all kind of a scarcity model. And so you can only succeed highly when everybody else is effed, you know? But I don't think that it would necessarily have to be like that. I think the way it works now, it is beneficial to have a majority of people just absolutely mindless. And I mean, even saying that feels terrible.
When I heard you say it, it felt weird.
Yeah, and I mean, the good people don't take advantage of people in that position, but they do recognize that it is easier to be quote unquote extraordinary, whether financially or morally. You know what
when
I mean?
everyone else is
just
not on their stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
they're not about being themselves and making goals and paying attention to who they are in here and in here.
Yeah.
And they're.
So I mean, it makes it easy to seem great. it's easier to be extraordinary because most people
aren't aware. They're just not aware.
Yeah.
The awareness is like the first step for everything, and that awareness comes at different stages of life for a lot of people, for everybody. You know, for you, for me, for my mom. My mom always says that she didn't become aware until after she'd had both her children and had, like, I think she said somewhere around when I got my driver's license.
Yeah.
She became fully aware, and I'm wondering if we're going to end up having another fully, you know what I mean? She thinks that, like, you, me, and my friend, Marjorie, like, we're all, like, aware.
Yeah.
She's like, I was not this aware of my situation, who I am, what I want, etc. at that age. So I do think that anyone can achieve it, but it does not come at a cheap cost.
I just wonder how. Where does it come from exactly? Because there's got to be some elements of pain or frustration.
Sacrifice.
It
definitely comes from sacrifice of your time, of the way you currently think, of you got to cut out the bullcrap in your life, man. You have to spend more time with you than you ever have to get there, I think, because that's what led me to it. It was not only did the conversation you had with me jumpstart and make it was a catalyst, but I spent plenty of time alone thinking, but never the way I do now.
And it seems like the awareness would have to come first to do that, because if most people are in distraction mode, and it's just an attempt to not think about all these things, because it's typically demoralizing to recognize what you could be, and then you realize that you're not fulfilling that at all, which is, I would say, worlds worse than just working on some shit and it not working out yet. I mean,
giving up is way more demoralizing, like, or even thinking about it not working is more demoralizing than trying. I'd rather try and fail.
Yeah, and
over and over until something, until I figure it out.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I mean, you have to be aware enough to make that sacrifice. And if you start making sacrifices and you were so optimistic, or maybe you became aware enough to start making the sacrifices and it didn't work out right, when you get that reward, when you start doing that rewardless work, you circle back to just pity, and like I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do the comfortable thing. I'm gonna be doing the easy thing. I'm gonna give a third of my time to somebody else, a third of my time to sleep, and a third of my time to me. You know, it's like, dude, sleep and someone else's time already that's 2/3. You need that third back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never really seemed like an option to me, because I think when I was in school scrolling the top 100 jobs list, I'm going, yeah, this is all misery. This is impossible.
Your awareness came much earlier than any other human, though. I mean, I know that other people out there who did, but like, it's just the fact that you even remember scrolling through that list that they give you at school about the jobs, man.
Well, I mean,
Like, and that you knew that this is terrible.
yeah, this can't be right. Well, it's because what I was writing about on my little newsletter before we came out here is, I said, pain is a great teacher, tiredness is a great teacher, disappointment is a great teacher, because that was just the entire experience of growing up and being in school, and then you see how school funnels you into a certain direction of have to get a job, and then, you know, there's almost this pity party approach to when somebody says they want to own their own business. They go, oh yeah, okay, and just kind of, sorry to hear that, but
they're so cool with everyone else who owns a business.
yeah, and so,
Because it worked.
I mean, I always saw that my pain involved with school was so great that it gave me a window of insight that said, oh, this is bullshit, because all the teachers, they don't get it. All these counselors, they don't get it. The person who runs this shit, they don't get it. The people who run the shit that runs the shit, they don't get it. Nobody actually understands. And for whatever reason, I had a little drop of self-trust when I was really young that allowed me to just say that I think my poor experience within this system is the system's fault and not mine.
How did you get that drop?
I think Gumpy was a big part of that, because he would always just...
Grandpa?
Yeah. I mean, he would say how everyone's just so full of shit and everything, and just hearing little sound bites like that growing up, while the goal was to still help me go to school and all this kind of stuff. 'Cause, I mean, it wasn't a grades thing. I would just pass everything, but I couldn't exist
There.
in that. You watch the freaking Hunger Games or something, and I get flashbacks of being in school. I'm going, dude, holy shit, this is exactly how I felt back then, because there was no way out. You're just owned and controlled by this thing. And I go, I can't go to school. Well, you have to, or else you'll go to jail, or I'll go to jail, you know, my freaking mom or whatever. I'm going, how is this even real, dude?
It sounds so dystopian when you say it out loud. Like, that sounds like Hunger Games.
Literal dystopia. And so
it's just school, then they force you to complete it.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds overreactive, but just, I don't know, to have a certain kind of mind getting plugged into that system, it's just the most fear, the most misery ever. And so that gave me just this recognition of, okay, this pain is teaching me something. I would say it mainly taught me self-trust, of just being able to say, oh shoot, you know, no system or no person with a certain title truly has anything fundamentally over me.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of, I don't know, that's the most freeing piece of awareness, I think, because then you go to the doctor, and the doctor diagnoses you with some life-altering recognition to what your life is now based on your health, and then you just go, I'm done for, you know, or this medication is my only savior, or, I mean, it literally doesn't matter what it is, you know, or your boss is mad at you. I'm a bad person, you know, because my boss is mad at me. It's all of these overarching things that are some sort of authority. And now I think of a doctor as just a freaking dude who, you
lady.
know, yeah. Oops, a dude or a lady who just, I don't know, maybe cheated on some tests in college and just wanted to get their degree so bad because
now
they wanted to.
Now it'll be a ChatGPT doctor.
Yeah, and I mean, might as well be. And I just, being able to see through that is clarifying, because I go, oh, well, this is just another person who's maybe spent more time thinking about a certain subset of information. I could do the exact same thing if I wanted to. I'm also going to approach the minimal amount of trust that I would give any random person
Who
to,
walks up to you and
Yeah.
gives you advice.
Yeah,
Like
to
the dude at
a
the
doctor.
gym.
Yeah.
Who says, you need to eat 8 meals a day and doesn't matter what you eat so you can get yoked.
Yeah, and people just believe that stuff based on how, I don't know, strongly somebody says something. But
Yeah.
now it's just, oh, this doctor said that blah, blah, blah. And I go, I mean, you know, can he squat 405? You know?
Can he run a mile himself?
I mean, there's just...
That's so crazy when you go to the doctor and they can't run a mile.
Yeah, that's just...
It's like, well, you didn't learn anything, I guess.
No. But again, I mean, that's a scarcity model too, or it's a Band-Aid model with the medical system. Just, oh, something bad has already happened. Now let's try and just fix it and get rid of it. But again, pain is the teacher, and people are just trying to get rid of pain immediately when it's probably just the most clarifying thing. You take somebody that struggles with some sort of chronic illness, and they're the person that deep dives on everything and asks every person every single question and reads every single article and just goes absolutely nuts with it.
Yeah.
And then that person probably eventually, through pain, reaches the health enlightenment of it's all just fake. You know what I mean? You hear, oh, high cholesterol is this. And I go, yes, there are definitely physical realities to the human body. But at the same time, everyone is just forgetting about the emotional tie to how you treat yourself. What is the reflection on who you are and how you see yourself that, you know, emits from the way that you eat or the way that you talk to yourself or the way anything like that? The doctors don't talk about this shit. They're just going, oh, your levels came back as this. It just, I don't know, it cheapens the whole human experience to a point where everyone just feels like they're dying and the doctor just needs to save them and everyone's a victim.
Yeah, waiting for the person to save you and is not ever... No one's going to do that. Like,
Yeah, I don't think
the
so.
only, like, person that you should really focus on in your life that gives you any sort of... anything you should hold on to, anything real that you should hold on to is going to be your spouse. Like, pretty much you are on your own for making, like, things happen in your life, you know?
Yeah.
The only person you pick and choose to, like, split in 50-50 with your life is going to be the person you marry, you know? Like, everything else is... You make decisions together, and I'm not here to talk about marriage. I'm not a pro at marriage. I'm not even married yet.
Yeah.
I just meant, like...
Soon.
soon. But, like, it's all up to you. You have to achieve the awareness, make the sacrifices, and not allow anyone to put you down and be so pessimistic about your idea. Because you are the controller of what comes into your life and what comes into your mind. Like, no one else can choose your filter. You know, you have to filter it out. Someone can walk up to us right now and tell us how things should be. And it's like, well, okay, I'm going to ignore everything they said, or I'm going to take some of it. You know, it's all up to you.
Yeah.
It's all up to you. And you have to remember that because, and it's an everyday thing.
Yeah, it's
you
just,
know, if
it's
you
just
are
the
not,
maintenance.
you need to train yourself to only let in what is worth listening to. I'm not saying have a closed mind. I just it is up to you to make these things happen in your life and to work at them every single day or you're just no one's going to do it for you. You cannot be saved. The pill can't save you, the doctor can't save you, the school can't save you, the degree can't save you. I can tell you that. It cannot save you. None of it can save you, man. It's all up to you, and that's why it's so cool to see the farm actually progress because, like, you actually did the physical labor that led to something improving.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the ownership.
The ownership, that helps.
I mean, that is kind of the only thing that you can... I don't know. I guess kind of the basket you can put all your eggs in is just everything is my fault. You know what I mean? When it comes to your life and just taking accountability, and it's not always just a leverage thing, or something bad happens so it's all on me. It's just this is literally my life, and everybody feels the exact same way. Everyone feels this daunting responsibility, and then most people give up the responsibility, and so it's kind of, I don't know, think about insurance. The biggest scam ever. It's just, I'm gonna pay a stupid ass high price just in case, so somebody else can save me if something else goes wrong. And then the system that I get pulled into when I'm being saved is just the most disingenuous system possible. But anything to just give up the responsibility.
Yeah.
And I don't want to figure out how to make money for myself or live off of my own thing, so I'm going to give it up. And it's so normal. I mean, this is just normal life for 99% of people, and so it doesn't seem like any sort of problem. But nobody really sees the cost of giving up the responsibility.
Not till the end of their life.
Yeah, and you just see that it does not feel as good as people think it does. It just feels comfortable. But again, this is not a good emotional survival strategy. And so the pain of any kind of pursuit of building a business or just being autonomous in that kind of way. I'm also not saying that having a job is just a bad thing, but
there's jobs that are perfect for some people.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, that life still has to include ownership, because job is not life, unless your life is your job, which is kind of, what we're trying to do.
Right. Well, it's a nice wall, I feel like. Same for like a podcast listener or a podcast creator. I listen to podcasts, you listen to podcasts. Whoever's watching this, who's made it this far, I mean, it's like a wall for life. You said 99% of people are living that type of way, but there's this wall that you have to get over, no matter you have a job that you love, or a job that you hate, or you have to get over this wall to make it. Like clicking on this video is a wall. Oh, it's going to be a 30-minute podcast or whatever. And listening, you have to listen to it all the way through is a wall. Like you're climbing a hurdle every time you do something difficult and achieve that thing you were trying to get to. You're starting to climb the wall.
Yeah.
And everyone is just, it's not that they're lost, it's just that you haven't started climbing the wall yet.
Yeah, it feels like too much. I mean, there's kind of this analogy I'll use of if you're in the ocean and you think that there's a shark about to attack you. I would imagine that actually feels worse than if a shark already was attacking you, because at that point you're just trying to punch the shit out of a shark and you're so present, you're just doing the thing. It's really difficult, but it's not paralyzing fear. It's actually just
you're in the moment trying to save your life.
So sometimes
hoping you're not dying from this.
Yeah. I mean, a terrible moment or just a terrible difficulty is better than just thinking about it or anticipating it and it never happening, because you living in that paralysis, it just sets you up for worlds more pain than being in any kind of harsh moment like that. But yeah, I mean, it's constantly that I have to remind myself that, okay, no, I'm asking for the ownership. I'm asking to be responsible for everything. I'm asking to be the person that is paying other people and then them, looking to lower the responsibility one day. Being on a team and somebody just wants the job. But then I'm going to have to be the person that's at the bottom of the funnel for everything, every problem, every win also. But
you're the number one employee because you're the owner. You own. You're trying to make your life your job, and so since your life is your job, you're the only one in charge of making these things happen. Just like everyone else is, but yours is related. That other person, they're in charge of their life as well, but they put that responsibility off to another person and spend that 1/3 of their time.
Yeah, and I mean you need a team for everything. So again, it's not just a campaign of everyone has to be a freaking business owner. No. It's more just an analogy, because business is, I don't know, business is super short-sighted even, but it is super reflective of how people think and treat themselves, and there's kind of this ownership structure. But again, going back to the archetype of this person that goes through all of the pain and keeps learning and asking questions and just pushing up against the problems that they face that just won't go away super easily.
Right.
Which real problems are very much that way. It's just a constant, how does everybody else have an injury and then it just goes away and it gets fixed? How does everybody else have just this thing and it goes away? When you feel this months, years long kind of struggle with something and you're going, how? How me? How am I the one that has such a painful process with this? Eventually you reach the point where practically things start to work, and then mentally and emotionally you kind of rise above it. It's like politics. You're trying so hard to just argue your thing to get the other person to agree with you until you just float above the whole spectrum of politics and you go, oh, everyone is a dumbass. Everyone fighting about all of this shit is just working from scarcity. Everyone is just conflict junkie, just looking for a problem. This is how everyone is processing. You rise above that and you go, oh, the problem was only there because of how hard I was trying to solve it, instead of just enlightening myself.
It's in the psychological with the problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a energy withdraw.
When the shark's eating you, though, that's not psychological. This shark needs to leave me. I know shark's not even a great example because they don't even really attack people much.
Yeah.
But
just a visceral image.
Yeah, it's the Jaws movie that got everybody on that.
Yeah.
But freaking, that is an immediate problem.
Yeah.
I need this to go away now, or I'm gonna die. Those are the only like real problems.
Yeah, and that's the,
At the time.
Survival problem, which.
Yeah.
When that was the fundamental human problem.
Right.
Again, it wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, but it was simple.
It required constant, holding yourself accountable. You had to go chop the wood to stay warm. You had to go get the water to drink and to cook. And you had to have the wood to cook. And you had to do everything. Like, there was the responsibility. Like, now in the first world, we're always asking for more responsibility, like you said, or at least the good people. Or I hope you want more responsibility. I want to be able to take this on, because otherwise the fridge is full, the roof is good, the bed is warm.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
so I want more responsibility, because now that we've solved the survival problem, I want to solve other problems.
Yeah.
And if I don't have to worry about the survival problem, I've got a little bit of cash, some food in the fridge, gas in the car.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. God, health is one of the biggest ones, because I can take that load off, because the survival aspect is covered. And now I can actually focus on these problems that I want to solve and these responsibilities I want to acquire, so that way I can provide for my family and do good things in the world and actually have an impact.
Yeah.
There is a good, and I don't think it's a bad thing we solved the survival problem. I think it's just that a lot of people take advantage of it, because it's so easy to choose comfort and take advantage of, well, I'm just gonna go to work and eat food and watch TV and chill and just live my life, have some kids maybe, not give them everything that I can.
It's almost like the real reason to succeed and create all of the autonomy, and I would categorize it as rising above the economic structure of the world in a way. When you can make so much money, have so much autonomy over your own life, you can then revert back to survival and community, and that's it.
Yeah.
So you make so much money, wealth, autonomy, however you want to say it. You can
freedom.
Freedom. You can then just circle back and go to, I just do hard things every day. I exercise every day.
I provide.
I
feed
eat
back
good
into
food.
the community.
That's the
I put
thing.
it back in at the bottom end.
Yeah, it was free. This was how the world worked, fundamentally, for a very long time. Now it's come into this entire comfort spectrum, scarcity spectrum,
Charity
politics,
starts at home.
all of it.
Yeah.
But now the only way, the real kind of enlightenment, quote unquote, is just getting back to what life was for free. You know, whether God made it, I don't know who made the damn place, but you know, we started off with a pretty cool system of, yeah,
once I've taken care of myself and my family, I can actually, because the charity starts at home. You're saying like in the beginning, like we're trying to get back to the way it was before we had the systems, the economic structure. You know, now that I have my wood for the winter, I have my food, I have my plans, my family's safe. Well, I can give back. I can help my neighbor. I can, because you know, I'm not gonna go give all my neighbor all of my stuff when my child and wife are starving and cold.
Yeah.
You know, charity starts at home. I need to be able to provide, and then I can feed it back into the community, to the people around me. And you know what's cool about the internet is you can feed it into the entire world, theoretically.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
I hope so. Yeah, it definitely. There's just kind of there's a cycle that is so all-consuming that most people alive today, they won't even think about what we're talking about right now. Which, you know, I can't worry about everybody. I can only worry about myself and the people around me and my neighborhood and just where I am physically. You can't outsource too much pity, or else, you know, you don't actually have your own life. But man, there's just kind of there's a big energy withdrawal that I always try and exercise from all of the BS, all of the stuff that keeps people constantly thinking in just this scarcity mind, conflict mind. And what's crazy about today is it's not really a valiant effort to just go live in the woods, you know, and then...
Well, you can't now in America.
Yeah, you really can't do it, because in my mind it's kind of, okay, you just go and leave society, but you still count on society, because eventually you're going to have to come back out of the woods and make a little bit of money and do whatever you can to then go back out and try and sustain.
Or even if you could sustain yourself, the government's still going to charge you property taxes. How are you going to pay that?
Yeah, exactly. And so my thing is, I think the best thing that you can do, the biggest form of ownership, the going to live in the woods thing, I'm actually all for. I completely agree with it. I completely understand the off the grid and all of that great stuff. You shouldn't do that because you're afraid to overcome and find the autonomy and then go live in the woods. Because people do that out of kind of a, I can't do it. I gotta leave. I don't want to take the responsibility. I don't want to try and succeed in this container that I've been placed into.
It's outside the container, but it's not above it.
It's not above it. So I think getting above and then going outside of it, that's a completely different thing. So
I think you got the better view from above.
Dude, I feel like that's just necessary at this point. And it's not a journey of beating your head against the wall. It's a journey of doing all of the simple things of the survival, as in doing the hard stuff and fueling yourself well, having a great relationship with yourself, which then creates great relationships with everyone outside of you.
Yep.
And then it's all just kind of an energy thing. You know what I mean? If you find yourself arguing about CNN or something, you just go, wait, dude, I'm so far.
Is it bad that when you said CNN, I was like, what's CNN?
Yeah.
Literally, like, for a split second, I was like, what's he talking about?
I mean, anything like that, I'm just taking my brain outside of it now.
Literally, first half second, I was like, what's CNN? Literally, because I don't watch any of it, man. And I'm good with that.
You can't. And it's not even about being informed anymore. It's about being consumed.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that you and I, even though we don't consume, we basically don't consume at all. We still know enough to say, like, you know, what's going on is just crazy. You know, like, or there's things that I'd like that is to change. Yeah. I don't want property taxes.
And then how do you do that? You literally work on yourself, and that's it. Yeah,
that's the only, like, start with the man in the mirror. You know, like,
Well, think about it. Think about the purpose thing where we started. Everyone has the the hero complex that's so far outside of anything that they can do. So they simultaneously have a purpose and a way out of doing anything.
That's
I'm just going to complain about Iran or something.
Yeah.
You go, okay, what are you doing? Oh, I just sit on my fat ass all the time and do nothing and just
Get angry.
get angry.
No bueno.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Great existence, bro.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't tell you one thing about what's going on in Iran, but I could tell you everything that's going on with myself and my family and my friends and what we're all working on and what I'm eating for dinner tonight. And well, actually, maybe I don't know that.
Maybe.
No, but just having a crazy knowledge base on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing to be.
And your community, like
Yeah.
your wife, your friends,
Yeah.
your people, man, your tribe. We are social creatures. We have
Yeah.
have these connections for a reason, and I can only, if everybody actually worried about the things you just discussed, about
Yeah.
being their own hero and taking the responsibility and becoming aware and taking care of your people and creating those great relationships, and then everyone did the exact same thing,
Yes.
then we would all be like that.
Yeah, I mean that's what's funny is all of the worst shit that happens in the world. It comes from the smallest seed being planted of scarcity and not doing all of these things. So that's the point I keep trying to. That's the point I keep trying to make when I do kind of the anti-politics little talking head stuff, and people just get fired up about it. And I'm going, oh, see, you're doing it right now. You're getting angry about me saying, stop thinking about all of the shit that's making you angry.
You didn't hear the message, bro.
Yeah, you didn't hear the message at all. And it's just, it's a sad thing. Because, man, I mean, think about the Hunger Games example. You watch this movie and you go, oh, whoa, it's just this extreme oppression, dystopian kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you got the people fighting tooth and nail for it to stay in place. And you go, oh my God. The system can consume the cogs so far to where the cogs support the system without the system having to do anything anymore because the people become it.
Yep.
Because they get consumed by it. And you go, geez, man.
And if we could have that effect with the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
And I do think that it's real and that most people are good and most people care and are trying. And you have to have that mindset that it is working.
Yeah.
The good will triumph.
Well, I don't think people are just inherently bad. I
agree.
think people are tainted so fast, though.
Yeah.
As in, you have little.
That baby was not bad to begin with.
No.
That baby is fired, but his parent is 450 pounds, and so's the other one. And I'm like, he looks really healthy. You made a very healthy baby. Why don't you and the baby be healthy?
Just,
Yeah. I'm like, it's not too late.
Yeah.
You just had that baby. He's gorgeous. Oh wow,
Yeah.
he's still gorgeous.
And
Still looks healthy, but you're still 450 pounds. Why?
Dude, it's such. I mean, and then talking about it for a split second, I'm going, well, how do you fix this? On a grand scale. No, that's the wrong. You can't. You know what I mean? I think a lot of good people get into the mode of, well, how do I fix everybody else? Because I understand this for myself. Nope. That's pulling from the wrong energy source. You know what I mean? I've just found so much clarity in going, I'm not a save the world through approaching the world guy. It's save the world through just coming right back to the foundation. That's it.
The same thing we just talked about, like with the seed. You know, say you're the seed. I cannot produce enough seeds when I grow up.
People are going, dude,
to
let me
spread out and save everyone. Like, you approach the world like that, you're just gonna get stomped on or burnt.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look at when you
do what you can through your life and your community and let it spread like a seed, like nature does. And it's the seed that comes off of the flower over here isn't gonna make it to cube. Cube is way too close. Like, it's not gonna make a diorama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
not. I mean, someone would have to take it on a ship
Yeah.
and bring it there and plant it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to do that on its own.
No.
It's here. It
mean,
can help here.
There's a seed, and then you say, "Oh, this is a pretty good thing that it grows. I like this corn." And you go, "How about we fucking wipe out 1,000 acres and just do more of this?" And then you go, "Oh wait, that kind of misses the point."
Yeah.
So now you have a whole lot of corn, but you have a whole lot of other shit that just
Died.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll plant smaller.
We're not here to talk
patches.
about monoculture.
Yeah, exactly.
No, another pod.
True.
That one. Oh, dude, this has been the best, and I honestly don't want to stop talking. You know, because
How long have we been at it?
I have no idea, but it's 8:05,
Dude,
and I mean,
let's go.
we've been up for a while.
Yeah. I mean, did the sun even rise? I guess it
It
wasn't.
did, but it's behind that building over there.
Yeah. Does the camera kind of exposure adjust?
It does. I'm pretty sure it's
That's
on
good.
auto. It better be.
Hell yeah.
We'll see how it comes out.
We just look on the back; it's just blown to bits.
It's just pure white screen.
Yeah, I mean, dude, not a bad backdrop.
No, it's absolutely
The pod.
gorgeous, and I'm so glad that in 20 years we'll get to look back on this and be
Yeah.
like, holy crap, we did that.
Yeah.
We went to the Keys, and
Let's do another
Cru
one.
was seasick and hated fishing that day, and
Yeah, that was a 7-hour journey.
I can't wait to force you to do it again and it work out better. You'll have
Yeah.
pants and it won't be so rough, because it was so rough. Me, Anderson, and Trey were getting seasick.
Yeah,
Anderson is on the ocean full time. That was a bad day.
that was harsh.
I mean, fishing wise, it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was amazing.
80 fish.
80
Yeah,
fish.
I caught one with my damn eyes closed.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Throwing
Puking.
up on the.
Yeah, I know, it was awesome. But yeah, I'm just so glad that we did this, and we'll have to do it again, man.
Yeah. It's time.
Appreciate you. No,
Nice.
that's all right,
That was
right?
pretty good. Dude.
Was
That
it?
Pretty good. I mean.
Yeah, we'll do it again. That was perfect.
Yeah.
that was
Absolute bomb.
Yeah, but thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. If you made it to the end of this podcast, you are a hero, and I really hope that you leave a comment, because every comment I've gotten on any podcast or video has meant the world to me. It's actually the reason I'm like, holy crap, that podcast was literally worth it, because Gabriel said this, and
Let's
I
go.
loved hearing from Gabriel. So,
Dude, the YouTube and Spotify notification on my phone, I go, bro, yes. Everything
yes.
else.
Like, heart, reply. Yo, what should I say to this guy?
Yeah.
Like, literally spending time. Like, I do not regret a single video anymore, especially when I get any feedback from one person, man. From one person changes. It's like, that video was worth it.
Let's go.
They watched a pruning video on my channel and they loved it. So thank you guys for joining us here. Go check out Cru Mahoney on YouTube, Spotify. You want to tell them your stuff?
Yeah, it's Cru Mahoney. CRUMAHONEY on every freaking platform in the world.
YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. TikTok.
Yeah. God, TikTok.
TikTok sucks,
That's
dude.
ass.
Some people are making so much money off TikTok, and I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more podcast episodes. If you're watching this on Spotify, please leave a follow and a 5-star and a comment. YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, hype. You know the deal.
Come on.
It's you don't want to miss the next one, because it's just going to keep getting better. And if you care about farming or hunting or agriculture or stuff like that, there's a couple playlists that I have that I'm working on. There's farming tips. You know, right now there's only one video, but by the time you see this, there might be 1,000. So if you guys want to learn more about any of those things or be entertained by any of those things, go check out my other long form videos on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.
Let's go.
Peace.
Yeah.
This fire
Fire was
nice.
awesome, yeah. That really helped.